Okay, perfect. So if you guys want to go ahead and get started, unmute yourselves and just start going through questions. If you guys want to just start on module 1, question 1, if anybody has it or know the answers.
So I got the answers from just the PowerPoint of the definition of a peer and a peer educator. And it just had like a peer as like someone who is of equal standing with you in a group, and they are accessible and share the ability to influence each other. And then for the peer educator, I had a peer who maximizes their knowledge and skills to help peers make healthier choices. If that sounds good with everyone.
Yeah. Good, I'd agree.
Okay. And then for the traps of peer educators, I had like people like trusting you. Sometimes like that can be not really a trap, but like sometimes you can feel trapped because like they trusted you with confidential information, and like that can feel as a trap. But I didn't know other ones, so I didn't know if anyone had any other ones that they thought were good ones. Or
also, if you look on the module like 1.2 or whatever that James uploaded, I'm pretty sure I'm the one that spoke on that. It has other traps that are included in the module.
I believe it's module 1.
Yeah, it's module 1, but that's not included in the original one. It's if you go to your content and go all the way to the bottom, it's 1.2.
Correct.
If you guys can't find it, I do have the answer to that one.
Okay, I'm going to find it.
I think I got it here. I think
One? Oh, go ahead.
the ones like trying to do too much, taking on something too big, internalizing the issue, and blurring the lines of integrity/ethics.
Yep, that's it.
I think it's on like the 4th slide of module 1.2 PowerPoint.
oh, I see what you're talking about. Cool. Does anyone want to do the third question, or do you want to just kind of keep on going that way, or do we want to like take turns answering the question, or what would we like to do?
If I'm being honest, I haven't like worked on the study guide yet, so I don't have all the answers, but I can help find them.
Work.
Yeah, I haven't
For
looked at this yet.
That's okay. I like just started looking over it too, so I think it's all good. For the what are the 5 roles of a peer educator? I think I found it on the module 1 PowerPoint, like the first one, not the 1.2. And I had friend, educator, activist, role model, and team member. And I didn't know if we needed to like include like maybe a little segment of like what each of those are, but I just kind of did the 5 roles.
Jordan, I think you can help answer this question. They don't need to like describe what the 5 roles of a peer educator are, right? Like they just
No,
need to know what
it's
the 5
multiple
roles
choice.
are.
It's a multiple choice. Yeah, it's a multiple choice exam. So it'll probably be something along the lines of, what are the 5 roles of a peer educator? Like A, B, C, or D? Is it all of the above? Which one of these is not, right? Or which one of these is? Does that make sense? Is how I phrase that make sense? So it's multiple choice exam.
So there's
Sounds
no like
good.
answers.
There's no short answers.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, next question, number 4. Who wants to do it?
I feel like it's just like making sure that you're taking care of like yourself as well as like taking care of others. I don't know, like making sure you're doing okay, like personally. So then you don't have to like worry about your problems and somebody else's problems. Just like
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know if there was like a certain like actual answer, or if it was just like your opinion. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Kind of like knowing to put yourself
put
first in a way.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good.
I think it's also important with that question to look at the, I'm going to butcher this word, eustress and distress, those definitions that are in Module 1.
Is that in the PowerPoint, I'm assuming?
Yes, it is.
The one, okay. Okay. Do we want to continue on then, or do we want to try to find the actual definition?
I'm going to go ahead and have you guys find the actual definitions for that.
Okay, so I think it says like eustress is like normal stress that is like beneficial or positive, and distress is like an abnormal amount of stress that becomes overwhelming. So the importance of self-care is, trying to maintain the balance of the eustress and not letting distress, like the abnormal amount, like become too much of a factor as a peer educator.
Very good.
Perfect. Okay, so then for module 2, does anyone want to answer number 1? It's what are the 3 social ecological approaches to change making?
Do you have that one?
I do. I put individual, which is the one-on-one working with someone, the targeted / group, which focuses on, of course, a small group of individuals, and then the community / population, which is like focusing on a change of a larger all-encompassing group of individuals. And I found that on the PowerPoint module 2. And I think there's also like after that there's like this graph, and it like shows kind of like the 3 kind of circles of it all.
Yeah,
It's like,
I see that.
if you want to just, I think that might be easier to find as well.
Yeah.
Does anyone have the answer for the 5 stages of change?
Yeah, pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and what is that? Maintenance.
That's what I got.
Okay. 5 steps.
Yes. Does anyone else want to take that one? The 5 types of people?
I think it says innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards.
Yes, that's what I got.
Those dang laggards.
Okay, and then does anyone want to do high risk behavior? I didn't personally find this one in the presentation, but I could have just missed it, so it might be in there.
Yeah, I'm not finding the high risk in there.
No, I just see it like on the module 2 review, but I don't see it in.
Mhm.
I didn't know if that was like the videos we talked about, but I wasn't sure.
Mm.
Do any of you guys have your booklet? Because it might be in there and not on the slide.
My book or this thing?
Probably your book.
My book? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not have my book with me right now.
It says what the answer is.
Yeah, I don't have anything for it, but I see it in there.
It's in there. Okay.
Yeah.
We have another resource that we're looking at, so let me see if we have the right answer for
Okay.
it.
I'm sorry, what was the question? My mom was asking me about a sandwich.
What is a high-risk behavior?
In what chapter are we in?
Two.
Module 2.
Module 2.
Wait, module 2. Okay.
Mhm. So it's
What
at
is
the
a-
end, like in like review questions, but it doesn't. It's not something like
Go.
specifically listed. Do you find it?
All right, let me go to a PowerPoint.
It's
No, it's just how to decrease the engagement.
I mean, you guys, even though like while we're looking for like a specific definition for it, you guys can discuss like what high risk behaviors are and like how you recognize them.
Would it be like high risk, the student's high risk? Is that what we're talking about? Like that? Okay.
Yeah.
So like maybe if they're like very angry, or if maybe if they're not getting their homework done, or they're missing a lot of assignments, that could be high risk possibly.
So these are, just to clarify, this is module 2.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So there were videos in module 2 that introduce students in thinking about change, and it could be referring back to these videos, right? With the students thinking about change and high risk behaviors. So yeah, what Shelby's on the right path. So one of you mentioned not doing homework, right? So when we're thinking of the modules of change, is that what you mentioned, Shelby?
No,
Did you mention, or did somebody mention not doing homework?
yes, it wasn't me.
Okay.
But.
Oh, okay. So we contemplate, the reason why we want to do changes in our life or think about contemplating changes is because we may or may not recognize a change that needs to take place. And I'm thinking that the high risk behavior is referring to changes that may or may not need to take place, right? So high risk behavior in college, definitely not doing homework, not turning in homework. What are some other things that we might recognize with students, first year students, that you've seen that would indicate high risk behavior of them not being successful as first year students?
Not coming to class, like
Yes.
missing the holidays.
Yes.
Not acclimating to like the campus or something.
Yeah, not reaching out and joining clubs, right? Or just coming in and leaving, going straight from home to class and from class to home,
Mm-hmm.
right? Immediately. What else?
Maybe if you hear like they're partying or something, like that could, like
Yes.
not all, but if it's like interfering with their homework, that could affect it.
Yes, definitely. Like going out and drinking every single night or binge drinking on the weekends, right? Any sort of drinking or drugs or any sort of illegal activity, that's very high risk behavior. That's not going to lead to being successful in school. Yes, definitely. So you guys know the answer to this. It's kind of a common sense, high risk behavior. And I believe that's what it's asking. Things that you would see may need to be changed.
You guys don't have any more questions on that one. I think it's good to move on to module 3.
Okay. It says, what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? For sympathy, it's feeling for someone, a sense of feeling sorry for them. And then empathy is attempting to put yourself in someone else's shoes, essentially feeling with them. So it's like feeling for them and then feeling with them.
Right. And then for number 2, what are some barriers to effective listening? So external barriers could be factors in the environment making it difficult to listen, and then internal barriers, factors that exist in a listener's own thoughts and feelings.
With that one, I want you guys to go ahead and talk about what some of these barriers are, like in case a question is this an external barrier or is this an internal barrier? So just kind of distinguishing which one is which.
Isn't like
External barriers. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, you can go. Okay. An external is like you're in a noisy environment, or like a whole bunch of people are talking, or someplace you can't really focus at. That's all I got.
Yeah, I was gonna say just like an environment where there's a lot of background noise, like music or some sort of other stuff like that. Other conversations being too loud.
And then like for internal, it could be like maybe there's something going on at home, and like that's all their mind's thinking about. So like maybe that could be thoughts that are kind of affecting their studying or affecting them in class, that sort of thing.
Any others? Or do you think we're good to move on to third question?
Another example for internal barriers I see on the PowerPoint is like judging the speaker or dismissing the speaker's feelings. Just those are some more examples.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have number 3?
Making sure it's like a comfortable place for the person to talk to you. Like, I don't know. Like having it not distracted, or having it like making it just like you and the individual, so they feel comfortable, not like anybody else is going to hear what they say or like have to judge what they have to say.
Makes sense. Kind of like a private place. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
yeah, it makes sense. You're good. Yeah. On the PowerPoint, it also lists like questions. And like one of them is like potential interruptions. Like that kind of goes to with like privacy and that sort of thing, making sure that everyone feels comfortable, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have anything else to add on that or anything?
Putting your phone away. So the biggest thing with like external barriers, but also this next one about privacy and stuff like that, making sure your phone is away and there's no distractions and that you're giving 100% of your attention to the student so that they feel safe and heard.
Makes sense.
I doubt that will be an answer or a question on the exam, but that's very important as a peer educator.
Okay, that's fair. Alrighty, and then for question number 4, does anyone have the roles of nonverbal communication?
It says communication without the use of spoken words, so like gestures, facial expressions, and body language. I think that also talks about where, like, your phone too. That kind of fits into that one.
And then I found that the R in rules stands for relax, the O stands for open, the L stands for lean in, E stands for eye contact, and S stands for square up.
Mhm.
That's
Whenever I
going to
hear
be
that,
an
I
important
always
one.
think when James was demonstrating square up in class.
It's pretty funny. But square up, that's going to be an important one. That probably will be on the test.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember what square up means?
Not to fight.
It's not fighting your students. It's facing your students, being square with them, not just like laxed and not interested. Like you're giving them like your body attention as well as, you know, listening.
And
Or
the
like
acronym that,
talking to you. Go ahead, Jordan.
yeah, and the acronym that Isabella, do you go by Isabella or Bella or what?
Some people calls me Isabella, some call me Bella. Like, if I'm in trouble, my mom will say Isabella. But
Okay, so you probably prefer Bella.
yeah, either way, whatever comes out. Not Izzy though.
Okay.
Or, no.
Okay, all right. So Bella, the acronym that you just used, that is an important piece and will probably be on the test as well. So that was good to point out.
Okay. So for the number 5, the still here phrase. So I think there's like kind of a slide on that. And it talks about brief comments or motions and then like signals that you're still listening, like okay, uh-huh, and head nod. So I think those are kind of what it's been talking about.
I think it's like do those so when the person you're talking to, they know that you're still like paying attention and like listening to what they're saying. And I think like another good one would be remaining to have good eye contact with them, so it shows that you're like following what they're saying.
Yeah, using these phrases and also like remembering the acronym roles that you used, like those two go hand in hand, because if you're just saying, like if you're not doing the roles, but you're just being like, uh-huh, okay, yeah, like then it sounds disengaged. It sounds like you just want them to hurry up with what they're saying, like you're not really paying attention. So like you want to make sure you're saying those things while, you know, you're squared up with them, while you're making eye contact, while you're, you know, nodding and actually listening. So super important.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry I have to meet with my student, but it was good to see all of you. I recognize all of your faces again. I miss you guys. Okay, bye.
Have a good birthday.
Happy birthday.
Bye.
And then for the next question, what is an MI? I put motivational interviewing, but I don't know if that's right.
That's correct.
Okay.
But just don't know like what MI is. Like I'd probably go into the slides that actually talk about what it is, and there's an acronym as well to learn.
And I'm guessing that's the ORS, which is the open-ended questions, affirmations, reflective listening, and summaries. So
Yep.
probably should put that on there too. And then just for like, so we know, like a motivational interviewing is like a one-on-one approach. It's like used by counselors, but it kind of focuses on the speaker coming to their own conclusions and making their own action plan. So in case anyone wanted to kind of put that on there as well. Does anyone have the answers for module 4? What are the 5 steps of a crisis management cycle?
Yeah. Learning, prevention and mitigation, planning, response, and recovery. Was I loud enough? Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're good. What about the 6 steps to making a plan of action?
I have those. The first step is, why do you want this to happen? Step number 2 is do a reality check. Step number 3 is make a plan. Step number 4 is commit to taking action. Step number 5 is reinforcement and forecasting. And step number 6 is plan the first step and first reward.
That's
Good.
okay. And then for question number 3, what is a BIT or BIT? I don't know what that is. So if anyone does.
I don't know.
If you guys want to skip that one, we'll look for it on our end and we can circle back to it. Because that one's kind of a weird one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just go on to module 5. Does anyone want to talk about the differences between an active and a passive bystander?
So an active bystander, someone who's intervenes in the situation or is ready to, and a passive bystander is one who does not intervene.
That's exactly what I have. Awesome. And then it's like some of the reasons why someone would not intervene in the situation. It kind of talked about it in the PowerPoint. But if it like puts them at risk, or if it could cause a situation to escalate, those are reasons that you would not, of course, intervene in a situation. But if anyone has anything else to add or anything.
No, I'd have to agree with you. Anything that like puts you at risk or could harm you.
Alrighty. And then for the 5 steps of deciding to intervene, does anyone want to take that question?
I can. Step 1, recognize the problem. Step 2, interpret the problem. Step 3, take personal responsibility. Step 4, decide how to assist. And step 5, take action.
That's precisely what I have. Cool. Anyone want to add anything to anything, or everyone's good? All right.
You guys got it on that one.
That was a good module for us. Alrighty, so for module 6, the first question is, what is the difference between a personal and a social identity?
I can read off the PowerPoint. It says, identity can be personal, aspects of you that do not historically elicit disfranchisement or bias, such as liking the color blue. Identities can also be social, socially constructed, and elicit some sort of bias and hierarchy of privilege, such as national origin, gender, etc.
Alrighty, and then what are the D9 plus social identity? I don't know if we need to like list these out or if we kind of need to give like an overview of it. But I kind of just put traditionally they are held by every person and are discussed during conversations about enfranchisement and disenfranchisement. And then I kind of labeled them out: ability, status, age, sex assigned at birth, gender identity and expression, national origin, race and ethnicity, religious affiliation, sexual organization, socioeconomic status, and then the plus. So that is what I have. I don't know if that's good or if we should add more to that.
That'll be good. You'll want to just know if you can like understand like how those all fit together in the group. That'll help you with the questions for that on the test. So you'll be good. Did you guys see James's message?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, James.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense.
And then does anyone want to take how do you define disenfranchisement and inequality?
I don't see that one on here.
I found disfranchisement. It's a state of being deprived of a right or privilege. But I don't think inequality is like ever like fully defined. But I think kind of all know what it is, but we could also, maybe it's on there and I just missed it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing inequality either.
How we define disenfranchisement and inequality.
You guys can probably for that one use your own definition. I'll look and see if there's a specific one, but that one, I mean, what do you guys think inequality is?
I guess like the general definition would just be not being equal. I mean, it's probably too general, but
Yeah. I mean, if you guys should all kind of have like your own working definitions of inequality, you know, like injustices against groups of people, you know, that cause oppressions and or barriers to being successful. So just kind of understand that and its like connection to disenfranchisement, and you'll be good.
alrighty. And for question number 4, the intersectionality, I put that we do not exist only as one of our identities. All of our identities intersect to impact our experiences, an important frame of reference when discussing issues of social injustice. Does anyone have anything they want to add to that or anything? No? Okay. Alrighty, does anyone want to take on module 7, what are some good verbs to use when writing learning outcomes?
Do we have a PowerPoint from module 7?
I'm looking for that now.
Yeah, I did not see that. I didn't
I
see
didn't.
7 or 8.
Yeah, I would agree. I just found module 8, but there was not one for module 7.
I thought wasn't that the one that we were sending out like a do at home? There wasn't. We weren't gonna do anything. Even the information. I don't know. Go ahead and go to module 8 and we'll see what's going on with module 7.
Okay, so for module 8, the 5 steps in the cycle of group formation. For this one, I just found it was like in the one that they sent out and it was kind of in like a PDF and wasn't in the PowerPoint. And I put forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Those were the ones I found. And I'm assuming, do we need to like know something about each of them or just kind of know what the 5 are?
I'd probably know a little something about each of them just in case they ask you a question about it. Sorry, my voice is going.
You're okay. Okay. Alrighty, and does anyone want to take the second one?
Sure. Mission statement is focusing on today, and then the vision statement is focusing on the future.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have. And then, does anyone have the 7 characteristics of highly effective peer educator groups?
I think it's strong, diverse membership, well-trained peers, promote positive images, active advisement, branding, administrative support, student ownership.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have. And then for the 4 roles of a strong peer educator advisor, it like lists them out. So I just put consultant, director, supervisor, and administrator.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Did you guys answer question 4?
Of module 8, yes.
Well, let's go back up. And so what is a BIT?
NASPA language for behavioral intervention team.
Yes. Shelby, did we find out what was going on with module 7?
Yeah, James said that there's not a PowerPoint. There was a handout that we gave out during panel day. So we will just go ahead and upload that handout onto D2L.
Does anyone have that by chance from when we handed it out in class? Does that say number 7?
This is like a manual. That let me look. Oh, hey, we were looking for this earlier. It's a definition of a peer educator.
Good.
You were telling me to find it in my book. It's right here.
Yay.
What is this?
It's such soothing music in the background. I don't know who's coming from.
It's probably mine. My brother's playing the piano in my house.
Yeah, I don't think it's in that one.
What are we looking for right now?
Okay.
Probably the handout. Hey. Okay. If you guys have questions once we get that handout uploaded over module 7, you can shoot us an email or hop on, I guess, to the other study guides, study sessions that are going on later this week. But we'll get that uploaded, and you should be able to find the answers. But if not, just shoot me or Kaylee or Brandon an email, and we can help you figure out what the answers to those questions are. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you guys have, is there any one of those questions that kind of stumped you, or like you're not sure if you need to go more in depth on, or feel pretty good? Feeling okay? Okay. Awesome. You guys did a really good job. Way to get through that whole thing. That'll make going through that certification exam way easier. And
Yeah.
so you guys did a good job. That's all we really have for you guys. Way to come on and do it. One less thing to do.
Hey, Shelby, Brandon, will you stay on for a second after? Okay, cool. But yeah, thanks for joining on. Do you guys have any questions about the test itself that like we maybe not have covered?
When did they say the test is going to be released? I know they probably said it. I can go back and look.
I think it was the May 11th through the 15th.
Okay, so Monday.
Yeah.
And it's not a timed exam, right?
Not time, just 30 questions.
Okay.
It's open notes too, right? Or what was that policy?
I think probably not open notes. I mean,
I don't know the policy, but I know we can't stop you.
yeah, probably more honor system. So it'd be best if you can, and like James said, like you have a chance to take it again. We just have to approve a second time. So probably no open notes.
Great.
But I think you guys will do just fine on it, going through this study guide and doing everything. I don't think you guys should have anything to worry about. So
Awesome.
not big and
And
stressful.
again, like a lot of the questions is like Jordan said, common sense. So as long as you like kind of know the basics, you should be able to get it.
Okay, that is what we have for you guys. So shoot us an email if there's anything that comes up between now and then. But if not, good luck. And don't forget to get your final portfolios uploaded also.
Yes.
Sounds good. All right.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Yep. Good job, guys. We'll see ya.
Thank you.
Hi.
Ooh,
How do you think that went?
Oh, I could stop recording. Hold on.